We're in suburbia here, Richmond, where I used to live as a kid, and I've just walked up the hills in the background to see how much food we can find, forage and look for, because we don't want to go into shops with lots of other people that are coughing all over us. If there's a zombie apocalypse or a pandemic of COVID-19, we want to be able to find our own tucker close to home without having to go too far away. And I reckon in the bush next to your home you'll find it. Let's go for a walk, see what we can find. My son Yona, he's foraging. He knows what mushrooms you can eat. And so far, have you found anything, son? No. Nothing. We're going hungry. Okay. Okay, here's a food source. Maybe not for you, but for your livestock. This is an oat tree, and oat trees have these things. Hundreds and hundreds of them on the ground at this time of the year. Pigs eat them, ducks eat them. You can take the shell off and break them down and feed them to your chickens even. There's a food source right there. So that's our first food source that we've found. During lockdown, we weren't allowed to go fishing and we weren't allowed to hunt. So we were forced to go to the supermarket. Those of us that normally don't go to the supermarket had to go to the supermarket. I'll press on up here, you can hear the cicadas, man. Normally this time of year they're not here. They're loud. Are they? They're a great bait for catching trout. You stick a tiny little number 2 hook through the back of a cicada and you will catch trout. Well, there's a food source. Well, it's not honey, that's from a wasp. I wouldn't call it a food source. It's interesting that underneath the old hive there, we'll put that back on there. They've been feeding off that under there, so we'll just pop it back. So far it's actually proving quite hard to find food to eat. That's the shell of the cicada. These guys come out from under the ground, shed their skin and grow new one. And old mate's come back to see me while I'm talking, haven't you, eh? You follow me around. So this is Manuka, and whilst it won't give you any huge nutritional value, it makes a good tea and does carry some antioxidants, so you could take that for a refreshing tea. Not native to New Zealand, was brought out here for hedges, I believe, from Scotland. That is gorse, and yes, you can eat the gorse flower. I have a video with my friend Kim Swan, and she's doing it with rabbit. It's a nice stuffing, it's a form of carbohydrate, and it's nice accompaniment to a salad. And old mate wants to get in on the act, don't you, eh? You're one of those like those people that keep photobombing my video. Yeah. Alright, you're famous. Yep, everyone's watching you. Well done, you made it. Handy to know if you're in the bush. Coromico, this is a smaller plant. So what you want is you want to take this top piece here and you can open that up or just eat the tip. Great for a gut's sake. If you've got a gut's sake, it's probably as good as ginger or anything else for your stomach. Very, very good. Māori have known this for a long time. We learnt that from them. I first had this when I was a kid. It's bitter, quite bitter, almost bitter enough for you to think, man, maybe I shouldn't be eating that, it might be poisonous, but it's not, you can eat it. It will settle your stomach. Mind you, so will a nice cup of tea. Of course, you'll find an abundance of gorse everywhere, but the other thing about gorse too is it's actually highly nutritional to animals, particularly goats, but sheep can too. If you can find a way to grind that shit up, you can actually make it into a feed source. So old mate has led me to this, and this is a great food source at this time of year. Passionfruit. And it looks like the animals have had a crack at it, but let me just pick one. These banana passionfruit, nothing wrong with chewing on them. Oh yeah, something's been in there and had a munch on it. Banana passionfruit, sweet. Quite delicious really. Some people aren't flash on them, but I say yep, good tucker. And old mate says yep, I'm into those. Old mate's gone in there now trying to find out where I've been, if I've stirred up any insects. And he's chasing them. Clearly there's been animals also eating these, probably birds on the ground. They've been eaten out, might be possum. So actually you could use that as a bait source for a trap as well. If you've done any possuming and you've been out there in your time, then you'll know how to catch possum. But there's also a way to catch possum without a trap, a standard gin trap or leg hole trap. And that is simply with a piece of cord. You can even use a piece of flax. I used to do it when I was a young fella. You could use anything that's a natural food source, like a bit of passion fruit. The other thing you can do, if you want to bait a possum, take your knife out and you'd bark the tree and take quite a bit off it so the sap runs. That will get the possum's interest. He'll come along and he'll run up the tree, and that's where you set up your snare. Possums were introduced to New Zealand from Australia. They're a pest, but they're also a valuable food source, not only for us humans but also for pet food. As you can see where I am right now, just below me here on the ground, pick one up right there, and there we have a nice passion fruit. You see that one, son? Huh? You're chewing on them, are you? Yeah. He's already feasting on them while he's down here. Thank God I've gone off the keto diet. I can enjoy something sweet. And they're delicious. Quite nice, aren't they? Yeah. Sweet. Perfect time of year. We still haven't found any mushrooms, but we found some other stuff. Yum. Delicious. So, right through to April, even through to May in New Zealand, and earlier, on both sides you'll get passion fruit. Fern root. Yes, you can chew it up. I can tell you it's not flash. It's a form of carbohydrate. It has sustained a lot of people in the bush that have been bushed for a long time where they've got lost somewhere, but you've got to sort of prepare it a bit. I can't believe we've gone this far and still haven't found any mushrooms. Oh yes, Yana found these little ones here. Not edible, definitely not. Yeah, they've got little gills on them. Oh, I don't like the look of those. Edible?
I don't know.
I would say not. I'd say with a gill on it like that, you'd pass that one up, wouldn't you? Would you chance it?
Not without knowing what it is.
Not at all. Believe it or not, just in these hills, right next to suburbia, there's wild hare, wild rabbit, wild possum, wild pigs, that's right, wild deer even, and plenty of other stuff. It's amazing what's up here, and most of us aren't allowed to hunt it. There's a few privileged that have rights to hunt, but most of us aren't allowed to. And as I'm walking along this track here, I'm just seeing heaps of these all over the track, all in the bush here. Passion fruit, plenty of it. But I want to find some other food sources while I'm up here. Well, I haven't got a raincoat, but I'm underneath these trees, so it's not too bad. They offer a little bit of shelter, but not much. There is certainly no shortage of passion fruit on the forest floor here. A great food source, heaps of it. Everywhere I'm looking. Under the trees, loads of it. We've given it a pretty good nudge looking under all these trees, and other than passion fruit, there's not much in the way of mushrooms growing. In fact, only tiny small ones. So we're going to go and try and find some Pinus radiata. So we're going to try and find some pine trees. Pine trees, Pinus radiata, the proper name. They will often have slippery jack mushrooms growing underneath them. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, I guess it's like you find birch bolete under birch trees. They probably should call slippery jack mushrooms pine mushrooms, because that's where I always find them. And you can find them in great abundance. Thing is that most of us Kiwis don't really eat them. It's a food source that people just pass by because they don't know they can eat them. But you can eat them, they're good chewing. Really nice. Go good with wild venison or wild hare or wild rabbit. Yummy. At first glance it doesn't seem like a lot, but yes, that's the Kawakawa leaf. A fantastic tea it makes, high in antioxidants. As they say, shaped like the heart and good for the heart. And I must have said that 100 times, but it is. And underneath it here I've seen something else which just caught my interest. A piece of rotten log. And in that we just might get lucky enough to find some real protein. So we'll just dig that out of here now and explore it a bit. Nothing underneath it. But as wood breaks down, oh, we've got a little mushroom in there. I don't think we'll be chewing on that one. Just going to turn that over. The fact that it's got these holes here would suggest that there has been a hoo-hoo grub go into it. Pigs love it, and humans like it too. Well, not quite as rotten as I was hoping. I was hoping it was going to fall apart. Oh, there we go. You can see where they've gone through there. We might have to get into that with a knife and have a bit of a closer examination. The fact that pigs live up here and they haven't had a crack at it would suggest maybe there's nothing in it, because pigs know they can smell stuff that we can't. That's why they use them for finding truffles. And a pig would have probably had a crack at this if it could smell the hoo-hoo grubs in there. The olfactory system in their nose pigs is incredible. They can smell stuff that you and I couldn't get next to. I'm not seeing anything in there. I was sort of hopeful there might be something in it, but it looks like there's not a feed in there to have. Let's crank that way there. It probably needs another, I don't know, maybe another year on the forest floor to really get soft. It's just not quite breaking down enough. To be honest, I don't know what they are. They're not hoo-hoo grubs. I don't think they're baby hoo-hoo grubs, and they're only tiny. So not really a protein source. I was hoping to find a big fat hoo-hoo grub in there, but I lucked out. Oh, I'll have a look around. Just came across these guys here. This one actually looks like he's already dead. What I want to know is, are they gilled or are they with pores? And I'll tell you why. I'll turn this guy over. Now, they're definitely gilled. And we're going to pass on that. I'm not saying you can't eat them, because I just don't know. But if it's gilled, generally you want to know 100%, because they're the ones that really stuff you up. If it had pores, I would say generally you probably can. It might not taste that flash, but generally you're going to be okay. But with the gills, nah, we'll just leave that one there for another day. Starting to rain quite a bit up here, but I can tell you, underneath this tree, I'm as dry as a ship's biscuit. The macrocarpus like a big giant umbrella. And while I'm chilling under here, I'm wondering where my sun's got to. I don't know how high we are above sea level here, but we're up in the hills, and I've just stumbled across something really cool I've got to share with you here. Can't believe this. It's a fossil. Right down in here, check this out. What is that, an old scallop shell? I don't want to disrupt it too much, and I'm not going to remove it from here, but that is definitely a fossilised shell of some sort, isn't it? In that stone there. How cool is that? Well, we can't eat it, but it's interesting. Right in here in the hill. Amazing. The sea was up here at one time. Because I don't believe somebody brought that up here. We're going to pop that back and just leave it in the environment. But something that really caught my attention as a hunter is this mark here. And I'm thinking a small pig. Of course, one of the rules with lockdown in New Zealand was we weren't allowed to go fishing and we weren't allowed to go hunting, which was a real blow for a lot of us hunters that actually relied on that for our meat anyway. But the law didn't say anything about us taking our dog for a walk in the case if I was going through a zombie apocalypse or another lockdown. I'd be walking my main dog path here, and I'd be taking my open air life with a long blade for harvesting mushrooms, of course. And if there's a little pig running around that size, well, if Poe tripped up on it and I just so happened to stumble and my open air life stuck it and it came out by mistake, so be it. But that would be a food source that I'd be hunting. Now, I haven't got a jacket on, so I'm going to go for a run now because my son just texted me and said he's found pine trees up here. Oh, it's a bit further than I was thinking. You can probably see right up the track here. He's smarter than me. He's got his jacket on and my jacket's in the back of the ute. Well, we've got plenty of pine trees. I'm not seeing any slippery jack mushrooms. I'm seeing a few poisonous ones grow around here. There's some up here that you can't eat. Those guys aren't edible. Well, that is a fungi. And I've got a funny feeling you can actually eat this. I think you might be able to. I'm not sure. Edible or not, son?
Because they start off like a little puffball, and when they're still like completely jelly on the inside, then you can eat them.
You can eat them.
It tastes very good.
Okay, I can hear something else you're going to eat right now too. Hear that?
The wicked.
Weka, yeah, but of course that's illegal. We would not do that. We would not eat weka. I have eaten weka. It came from the Chatham Islands, but we don't eat weka on the mainland. Currently I've got a weka that's at my house that I picked up off the road that someone bowled. I rescued it. Now it won't let me catch it so I can release it back in the wild. How's your mushroom hunting going so far? I'm coming up not very good at all.
Same.
Same? Jeez. No slippery jacks up here.
I found some real, like, pretty much turned into slime ones.
What are they?
That way.
Oh, whatever, look at them. There might be some other ones growing around them, but yeah, so far my mushroom foraging skills have been crap. Not very good at all. So far I'd be quite hungry, other than a belly full of passion fruit would have given me a gut's ache, which I would have had to then cure with Coromico. Plenty of bloody passion fruit everywhere up in there. It's passion fruit for miles. Can't believe there's that much passion fruit up here. There's plenty of these orange ones. Do they contain psilocybin, those ones?
Nah, they have I think they call it like muscimol or something.
Muscimol.
Which can make you trip, but...
Can make you trip. Is it in the little spots on them, is it?
Nah, it's in the mushroom. But
Right.
you have to like do a bunch of shit to them.
Oh yeah?
And then it can be quite an unpleasant trip.
Okay.
If you boil them,
Yep.
and then change the water and boil them again and keep doing that for quite a while, you can get rid of all the toxin in them and actually eat them
Is that right?
without getting an upset stomach or tripping.
Doesn't sound like a very nice process, and it sounds like the flavour wouldn't be very good either.
Apparently it's good, but I don't know.
Okay.
It takes a lot of effort.
Mushrooms can heal you, or they can kill you. Have you had any bad experience eating mushrooms just as like food source?
No.
Have you had any bad experience with mushrooms in general? Sorry?
Not really, no.
I have.
Oh,
I
yeah.
told you my bad experience in the tent when I was a kid. It was horrific. I never ever would I wouldn't risk it, guys. If you want to trip on mushrooms, I wouldn't risk it. I was up Brooklyn Valley when I was a kid and I took some magic mushrooms. I didn't know anything about what I was doing, I was being stupid, and I had this thing that I couldn't get out of my tent. I actually clawed my way underneath the tent instead of just unzipping it, and all my fingernails were all ripped, and it was just a horrible night, and I'd never ever do it again. I wouldn't recommend it, that's for sure. Right, whereabouts are these slippery jacks, son? Down here. Right over here, there you go, son. Yeah. And that's a rotten slippery jack. You wouldn't eat it, and it stinks. You can tell it's a slippery jack by the pores underneath it, but no, he's past his use by date. They do like the pine. That one's definitely past, he's gone mouldy. The owner's found a tool up here in the bush. I can only guess someone who's doing horticulture up here would have been using, son. Planting something in the gorse. Now what grows well in the gorse, I wonder? I know what, electric broccoli grows well in the gorse. They do have pink handles, and pink is your favourite colour, and it will be high carbon steel, so during the zombie apocalypse you could actually make a knife out of that. A couple of knives. These mushrooms have got gills on. Yona tells me they're inedible, so we won't eat them. This is actually a mountain bike track, and Yona hasn't got his mountain bike, so he's going to use his air mountain bike to go down. Are you all good to go, son? It's quite a serious grade, it's wet. Got good tyres on. Alright, give it heaps. Don't wipe out. He's even got his helmet on, and he's off. He's taking the furthest track. Oh shit, he's away now. He's off! I've lost him. He's flying down there. Jeez. Doesn't muck around going downhill, that's for sure. I've lost him. Who can name the berry? We think it's from the nightshade family, but we don't know. Jonas just saying when he was a boy, he used to eat the cicada shells. Well, it's good enough for you, son. It's good enough for me. Not bad. Not bad at all. Might have another one. I bet you get something out of that, eh? Look at all this frothy at the bottom of the tree. Yana was just saying that he used to enjoy eating those cicada shells when he was a little boy, and he said, you know how kids eat sometimes dirt and stuff when they're deficient and stuff? And I said, yeah, well, we probably, we weren't feeding you well enough, son. Poor boy had to eat bloody cicada shells, and he's off again. Yana says these are earth stars. He doesn't think they're edible. There's another one there too. Have you tried eating one?
No.
We won't do it either. It's that time of the year, the rose hip is out. Makes a nice jelly, also makes a nice tea. Very high in vitamin C and antioxidants. Yeah, the wild pigs come out this time of year and they would have been feeding off this. Some of these are already like past the use by date. There's still a few on there. Hey son, have a chew on this. It's absolutely delicious. Try some of that. I've just had some. It's just so nice. Have a wee taste. Just a wee taste on that. Have a wee chew, mate. Really nice. It's real sweet.
I don't like vegetables.
Yes you do, you love it, chew it. As your father, I want you to eat your veggies. Chew it up, son.
I don't want to.
It's absolutely bitter as, it's horrid, don't eat it. You could probably boil it and get away with it, but don't chew it, it's yucky. Absolutely soaked. The stupid thing about it is that my raincoat, or actually my mate's raincoat, sitting in the back here, and my Stony Creek dry pants. I do have a warm top somewhere, but it's better just to get that cold cotton off. Oh, there it goes. Everything's wet. Cotton is not the right thing to wear when it's...
Those are quite waterproof too, aren't they?
These are great, these are oilskin. Yeah. So that's our video, guys and girls. The food that we got was not a lot. We found loads, of course, these banana passion fruit. Yeah, son, you can chew on that if you want. And we got acorns to feed our livestock. Rosehip tea, Kawakawa tea, Manuka tea. How's that? Not bad, eh? Yeah, you have it, son. But we didn't really get any real protein source, and we didn't find any really decent mushrooms, which I was a bit disappointed. They are nice, aren't they? They're abundant. Clearly Kiwis don't like eating them because there's hundreds of them up there. That's our father-son surviving the zombie apocalypse COVID-19 video. Just a bit of fun. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to go to the supermarket now and buy some mushrooms because we can't find any. Be good, can't be good, be careful. We'll see you next video. See ya. You hungry? No, me neither.